Hello and welcome to this next edition from Churn Lane, Building Your Diesel Depot Part 3. So hopefully, looking at the other two videos, you would have seen that I've left this film in place to protect the glazing from the enamel paints. Now that that process is actually finished, I'm going to move on and look to build some window frames for these because we wouldn't have had large glazing panels like this on the depot. So to do that, I'm going to use some thin cardboard here and measure these out and hopefully create the same effect as what we had on the side. Back soon. The window has been measured and the window spacing confirmed, and that is now cut out. And once that's cut out, what I'll do is I'll paint that up with a little bit of the weathering powders just as a wash, and then that's ready for sticking onto the glazing. The unit's now been cut out and I've just placed this just underneath the corrugated effect. That fits in quite nicely, so I'm now just going to paint this up. The window frames are now fully fitted along the model. All I'm going to now do is tone these down a little bit, so I've created another wash with the weathering powders in this case. And quite simply, all I'm going to do is just paint over this. And that's just to tone it down, hopefully make this blend in a little bit with the roof. And then once this is done across all the window frames, you can then look to tone it up even more with a little bit more of the weathering powders just as a dry mix. So here's an example of one done. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. Just to show the difference here, on the right we have the base colour paint, and then on the left I've added some rust red pigment to this as well, and that's just to age the window frames. So I'm just going to complete the right hand side and that should be us done. The windows have now been completed. I'm now going to go to the next stage, which will be to add some additional details using signage. One good way of adding extra detail to your building is with signage. Here I have a selection of signs printed out on 6x4 photo paper. This is actually an A4 sheet, which is a download version, which has came from Scale Scenes. The good thing with this, for a couple of £1 you have a sheet, you can customise it with your depot name and it's yours, so you can print it as many times as you like. Only thing that is required is that you have a printer that can print in colour. Now if you don't have one of these, there are other suppliers where you can buy a sheet. Obviously you then need to pay your postage and you have to wait for that to turn up. So the Scale Scenes option for me is quite a good option. Quite a good selection of signs here as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting these out and apply them to the depot building. And I will show you the finished results once completed. Here we go then, the signage has been applied onto the depot. Quite pleased with the result here. Don't want to put too much signage on. This completes this chapter. In the next chapter we'll be taking a look at lighting, electricals and lighting for your depot.